freaking cow. Finally, the Arizona Cardinals are not asleep at the wheel. It turns out that they are actually up and alive, ready for free agency. They just needed to take a while for that to get going. Dalvin Tomlinson joins. Our other prime free agents also destined to join this Cardinals team. Let's talk about it in just a few seconds.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like calluses. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up, guys? Welcome into yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. I appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. Do you guys know anyone at 6 a.m. that has this much energy? I mean, listen, outside of last week where you guys were watching me legitimately die on camera because I was so sick but still decided to do the show, I mean, the energy is just off the wall. It's palpable this morning. You guys can follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on this channel. Maybe even tell a friend about the Ben Garcia Show if you really want to. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you just want to keep it all to yourself. I get it. I mean, there's some things in life are just meant for you. And you know what? I respect that part of the deal. All right. The Arizona Cardinals are not asleep at the wheel. We all thought they were, but they're not. Last night, they made a really, really good move. Dalvin Tomlinson is officially a member of the Arizona Cardinals. And listen, it cost a pretty penny to get him. But here's the thing about the Dalvin Tomlinson thing. I don't want to poo-poo all over it and talk about how, he's not very good or whatever. This doesn't excuse Monti Ossenfort's lack of free agent signings. Dalvin Tomlinson is a good player. He is as solid as they come. As solid as they come. You put him on your defensive line, obviously at nose tackle. And he just takes up space. He's not exactly a sack guy. He's not Aaron Donald. He's not Kenny Clark. He's not one of those elite level interior rushers that just get after the quarterback and make life hell. He's not Jalen Carter. He's not Quinnen Williams. But what he does is take up space. And mostly what he's really good at is stuffing the run. And this team last year, when the Seattle Seahawks got up in whatever personnel they wanted to, normally when they just wanted to rush the ball up the middle, the Cardinals couldn't stop them. They had no one in the middle that could take up space and stop the opposing team from just running halfback dive on them. This is what the Arizona Cardinals needed to do. Take up space inside that interior line. And anyone that played on this team from last year, I just didn't want to see again. I saw that book. I read it. I watched the movie. It was awful. Getting just a bona fide run stopper in the middle of this defense is exactly what they needed. Because there was too many times last year where it wasn't just the Seahawks, but that's the one where it's so fresh in the brain because that's the game where it feels like it all went wrong. They rushed the ball. The Cardinals could do nothing about it. Nothing. Dalvin Tomlinson doesn't fix all the Arizona Cardinals' problems. And I'm not going to celebrate whatever, right? I'm not going to go insane because Dalvin Tomlinson's on this team. But all I'm saying is, Josh Sweat, Dalvin Tomlinson, now we're talking. Can you allocate a first-round pick to this defensive line? Then you're talking about Darius Robinson, Josh Sweat, Dalvin Tomlinson, a first-round pick. This is what we needed to see. We're not asking for J.J. Watt and Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons all on this defensive line. I'm asking you to trade for one of these elite-level talents. Now it looks like there's only potentially 2 available, Trey Hendrickson, Micah Parsons. But elevate the floor of this defensive line. You know, there are some people, and I do expect the Cardinals to go ahead and sign a veteran cornerback just because there's a lot of youth in that cornerback room, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea to continuously add that depth to this team. Go get a veteran cornerback signing that can be literally anything better than what Sean Murphy-Bunting was last year. Garrett Williams is obviously a stud. I like Max Melton. I even kind of like Starling Thomas a bit last year. He wasn't horrendous like he was the year before. But it doesn't matter who you have back there. I mentioned this the other day. It could be the Legion of Boom all over again, or Darrelle Revis on one side and Patrick Peterson on the other. If you have to defend some of the best athletes in the world for 5 seconds every play, you're going to get cooked. And too many times last year, the pocket wasn't collapsing, and teams' quarterbacks had a field day with this pass rush. And the only way that they were getting any sort of pass rush was by artificially making it by Jonathan Gannon. I got to be honest, it was super impressive last year to see Jonathan Gannon get the pressure he did with the talent that he has. Because Baron Browning and Zaven Collins ain't it. So, really good move bringing Dalvin Tomlinson in. And just so we're being fair, I'm not so sure how much credit Monti Ossenfort gets for this. Because up until this signing, I was really thinking about how stupid I was for supporting Monti Ossenfort after doing nothing after day one. And then nearly nothing after day two. I'm sorry, nothing after day two. And nearly nothing after day three. Because as much as I like Dalvin Tomlinson, what I won't do is what I've seen some other people do. I don't think that this saves the Arizona Cardinals team. I'm not even sure if it adds one more win to this team. I will acknowledge that it makes them better, and it makes me excited to know that I'm not going to watch the same abysmal defensive pass rush that I saw last year that was legitimately just watching dudes sit there and pick apart this defense for however long they wanted. And I'm still frustrated by the Roy Lopez departure. It would have been really nice to have a first-round pick, Roy Lopez, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Josh Sweat. But they let him walk out. I am beyond ecstatic that they signed Dalvin Tomlinson. But it's not enough. It is not enough that Dalvin Tomlinson is on this team. And I was very compassionate after day one, getting Josh Sweat and saying, hey, listen, you know, they didn't make a lot of moves. A trade must be in the works. And then I see the report that says the Trey Hendrickson trade, the Bengals are asking for far too much, which leads me to believe the Cardinals are also not necessarily engaging with the Bengals right now. I don't know. I'm just speculating, of course. I don't actually know. But reading the tea leaves, that's what I see. That Trey Hendrickson, it might be harder for him to get moved or not. So, as much as I like Dalvin Tomlinson, it ain't good enough. It is not good enough. The standard is higher than that here. And it was something that, you know, I never go after anyone in the sports media world because I know everyone and I like a lot of these dudes. And I don't think they're necessarily wrong for getting excited about a signing or two. And I'm not even sure they feel this way that I'm about to accuse a lot of people of feeling. But it was a little frustrating to see this signing and people like totally flipping the script on Monty. I'm not there. Monty has to continue to add to this team. I like Dalvin Tomlinson. I like Josh Sweat. But there is still Trey Hendrickson out there. You've got to make that deal. Because then if you're talking about a team of a first-round pick, Trey Hendrickson, Dalvin Tomlinson, Josh Sweat. We're talking about like a middle of the pack, upper middle of the pack defensive pass rush. And I believe this secondary is pretty good. They just can't be asked to cover guys for 8 seconds every time while the quarterback picks them apart. The pass rush needs a major facelift. And Monti Ossenfort understands that. And I'm not going to give him too much credit for getting Dalvin Tomlinson. Because the only reason this guy got released, which is a great thing if you're a Cardinal fan, because oftentimes guys end up, that being Dalvin Tomlinson, getting released because the team knows they're still not good enough. They know that Dalvin Tomlinson or whoever it is, those guys aren't good enough anymore. They're not worth the money that they're paying them. That's not the case with Tomlinson. Now, listen, he could fall off a cliff, but he was pretty good this year at his position and playing it well, at what he does well, stopping the run and pushing the pile inside to make the quarterback uncomfortable. He got let go because they gave Myles Garrett $40 million a year, which is, by the way, one of the grossest contracts I've ever seen someone give a pass rusher who is very good, but holy cow, what are you doing? You are not ready to win right now. So they had to let go of Dalvin Tomlinson. The only credit I'll give Monty is he did go ahead and swoop him right up. But the problem is this. The Minnesota Vikings do not have as much cap space as the Arizona Cardinals. That they have cap space. Clearly, they're not paying the quarterback anything. The Cardinals have significantly more cap space than almost all of the league. And the Vikings are the one being aggressive. For some reason, I forgot the D tackle's name off the top of my head that played for the Eagles, and then he went to the 49ers. Javon Hargrave. The Vikings go and get Javon Hargrave. They go and get Jonathan Allen. They re-signed Byron Murphy. They are just getting guys after getting guys. That's what we expected the Cardinals to do. And I understand I'm the one that said free agency is fool's gold, and it largely is. But you've got to be ready to strike for the right players. No one would have went after Monti Ossenfort if he just went after pass rusher after pass rusher after pass rusher. But we all feel a little lied to because there was a lot of things in the media that was saying that this guy was going to spend money on the pass rush. And he didn't. So it's what makes it mildly frustrating, and he has to keep the pedal to the metal. All right, another guy. It's not just the pass rush that I believe the Arizona Cardinals need to continue to build and add to this defense, because this defense needs it, man. They need a major facelift. But I'll be honest with you. It's not just defensively that this team needs help. Offensively, they need it too. And I've been surprised the pushback that people have given about this player, who you see it on the screen right now. And I've made a breakout about this, and I've talked about it before. But I want to reiterate it again. Cooper Kupp, if the Cardinals can get him, should land him. You have the money to pay him. It's going to be a 2 or 3 year deal, and if it's a 3 year deal, you're probably getting a team option after year 2. And if it costs you $20 million, who cares? You're not paying anyone else on this team. And what this team needed last year was a reliable number 2. I like Michael Wilson. He's better served as a 3, and I really like Michael Wilson. Greg Dortch should not be your starting slot receiver or should not get significant snaps at the slot position. What Cooper Kupp brings to this team is leadership, a winning mentality. He understands how it's done in this league. And what I think Marvin Harrison Jr. needs is someone similar to him, good route runner, quiet, not a diva, someone similar to him to help mentor him on the field. He's got his dad, obviously, and his dad's a Hall of Famer. His dad's awesome. But it's different when you have someone on the field. Jacoby Brissett, we talked about this yesterday, is perfect for Kyler Murray. Someone that we know is not going to take his spot, someone that we know who has seen it all, someone that we know that on the sidelines can help mentor and mold Kyler. Similar to what he had with Colt McCoy, but now with Jacoby Brissett. Marvin Harrison Jr. does need that as well, but on the field. And Cooper Kupp is the right man for the job to make that happen. I've been surprised by the amount of people that have been so against a Cooper Kupp signing. One, you're getting him for free. You don't have to trade anything. You have the money to do so. You're not paying anyone on the offense outside of Kyler Murray. And by the time his contract is up, you move off of him and you pay Marvin Harrison Jr. Or I guess I should say you hopefully pay Marvin Harrison Jr. because he blossoms into a top elite level wide receiver. So I've been surprised the amount of people who have been against the Cooper Kupp idea. And not only that, give Kyler Murray a real security blanket over the middle. People often say to me, well, Trey McBride's their slot receiver, technically. He's the one getting all those underneath stuff. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I wish I had a wide receiver doing that. Cooper Kupp finding the soft spots and zones and dunking the ball off to him is exactly what this team needs. A real security blanket for Kyler and someone who can mentor Marvin Harrison Jr. So the ball is not just necessarily in the pass rusher's court, but Monti Ossenfort can right all of his wrongs of what he did early in free agency, which was Josh Sweat and a whole lot of nothing else. He watched Jonathan Allen, Hargrave, all these players just go off the board. And it was frustrating. While I'm watching the Commanders and Vikings and Patriots be aggressive, the Cardinals are standing pat. So as much as I want the Cardinals to continue to invest in this defensive line and in the defense as a whole, there are other positions of need on this team. I'm not asking you to go get Javon Holland, who obviously is a Giant now, but I'm not asking you to go get those star players just to go get star players. The Cardinals have needs on this team, and Cooper Kupp fits one of those needs. A strong wide receiver, too, who can find the soft spots and zones, who you're not asking to carry you, who can mentor Marvin Harrison Jr., and who can help be a security blanket for Kyler Murray while he develops his progression in this league. But it's not just him. It's other positions of need on this team. Whether it's a wide receiver or who knows, maybe a different backup tight end, the guard position. I've been very disappointed with the Cardinals' belief in Isaiah Adams and Evan Brown. I don't know anything about Isaiah Adams. Well, I guess that's not true. He was obviously a former, I think it was a 4th-round pick, plays guard. Obviously a former 4th-round pick last year. But, I mean, the extent of that is, like, I know that they see him every day, and they give him the benefit of the doubt because they know what he can be. But for me, I just don't subscribe to that. I am not leaving Kyler Murray scrambling for his life because I thought a 4th-round pick, a former 4th-round pick, was ready to take on the reins of this team. I'm just not doing that. So I am a little frustrated with the Cardinals' lack of aggression on the offensive line. I thought, obviously, Ronnie Stanley could have been someone who, he does play the left side of the line. You don't want to move Paris Johnson again, so maybe that's unfair. I totally get that. But there were guards on the market to be had, like Will Fries. I forgot the other guy's name who played for the Lions. He's a guard. Before that, he played for the Giants. But guys like that, big, beefier guards that can help keep Kyler Murray from scrambling around in the pocket. Kyler has no issues, for some reason, which makes no sense, with guys on the edge. He can outrun them. He can get around them. He's totally fine. But interior defensive pressure is what gets him. And it got Peyton Manning and it got Tom Brady. He can't get away from those guys. So if we are dealing with another year in which Kevin Zeitler, thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Also, Aaron, you're probably new to this channel a little bit, or at least to some degree. I got the same amount of crow for saying Joe Alt over Marvin Harrison Jr., so I'm happy we agree there, because yesterday you and I were not bickering, but going after each other a little bit. So yes, Kevin Zeitler, he was on the market. He's a good guard that the Cardinals could have had. It just gets frustrating for this team that I get worried about it a little bit. I get worried about the protection for Kyler. So with that being said, I like what the Cardinals have done, but I'm not going to just praise them and say, Oh, man, yeah, we're good now. We got Dalvin Tomlinson. That is amazing. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold their feet to the fire and continue to hold them accountable. Good move by Monti for allowing him to strike when the iron was hot. Seeing a guy that was there for the taking as soon as he got let go, love it. But Monti has to continue to be aggressive. And I am not going to just allow that to be the case. Him getting Him getting Dalvin Tomlinson and just moving on. So, frustrating. Michael, hi, Ben. Have a wonderful day, brother. I have a wonderful day because you're here. That's another thing, too. I have appreciated all the support from, guys like you, Michael, you guys being able to show out pretty often on this show. But we will see how the Cardinals continue to progress through free agency. But Monti Ossenfort's feet to the fire needs to be there. So, I'm not doing that. I already sung the praises after getting Josh Sweat because I thought a trade was in the works. But it doesn't seem like it is because the asking price reportedly for Trey Hendrickson is out the wazoo. But you got to figure out a deal to make something happen. Because if you get Trey Hendrickson or you get Cooper Kupp, I think the Cardinals are one more splash player away, like a Cooper Kupp, like a Trey Hendrickson, from me being like very successful. Very successful. I was looking at some of the contracts given out by Monti Ossenfort, and this was put out by my friend Johnny Venerable the other day. Monti hasn't given out a contract bigger than $31 million outside of Josh Sweat. $76 million, $31 million, $30 million, $22 million, $21 million. This is the thing that I keep trying to tell people. Monti's, I don't know why he's being cheap. You're not saving Bidwell any money. You don't get to save all the money that you didn't spend and just put it in your back pocket. That's not how it works. I think he's just been a really bad negotiator and very slow, which I like the progression of seeing how fast some of these guys come off the market. Javon Hargrave or Jonathan Allen, who just get scooped up right away. I am happy to see that he adapted a little bit to this one, Dalvin Tomlinson. He got released. Monti got on the phone. He made it happen. The work has been decent, but go get a Cooper Kupp. Go get a Trey Hendrickson. All will be forgiven. And I will 1,000% eat my crow. Anyone on this show knows I got big opinions. If I'm wrong, zero issue with admitting I was wrong. In fact, I hope most of the time I'm wrong, because sometimes I come off a little bit pessimistic, even though at times that's not the case. Either way, guys, I appreciate you guys watching the Ben Garcia Show and being here every morning, 6 a.m. No show tomorrow. Remember, we are a Monday through Thursday morning show, 6 a.m. So I appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. If you are still here, you guys know Locked On Phoenix Suns, right? I run that podcast too with my guy Brendan Clean. Jason Timpf of Hoops Tonight will be on the show tonight. Good dude, but he's going to help me dive in and dissect everything wrong with the Arizona Cardinals. Or I'm sorry, everything wrong with the Phoenix Suns tonight. Be there or be square. Jason Timpf, Hoops Tonight, Locked On Phoenix Suns. I'll be there later on tonight doing a show with him that'll probably get released at, I don't know, 8:30, somewhere around there. Maybe even 9 if I'm really slow. But either way, guys, appreciate you guys being here. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. I will see you guys next Monday, 6 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For Michael, Aaron, Mr. Bennett in the chat, appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. I will see you guys on Monday, unless, keep a lookout for my YouTube posts. Keep a lookout there. If there's a major signing or something happens, I will go live tomorrow. Like, I work for you guys, not the other way around. So keep an eye out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or I guess I will see you guys Monday unless something big happens. I'm Benjamin Garcia, and until Monday, it's been the Ben Garcia Show.